hello to everyone. I would like to continue my presentation before Siri talking about mobility. And today I would like to talk about economic value of language. As we all here today to discuss how goes 30 years of integration, so now we share our ideas or research results. I start my presentation from the background of the research for Estonia, and also want to introduce the economic of language research area. This is quite interesting, and I'll show a bit information about Estonia, like population trends, linguistic trends, and labor market trends, and present the results of paper. So first of all, background. So why Estonia? I'm happy to mention that this year the Nobel Prize in Economics get David Cott, Joshua Angrist, and Guido Imbens. They are all from the USA, and they showed that natural experiments help answer the important questions for the society. And Estonia could serve as a kind of example of the natural experiment. This is also very valuable research context for economics of language study, which is driven by Estonia history. And I say valuable because we have also similarities with Latvia, a lot of similarities. But unlike other bilingual or multilingual countries, such as Canada, Belgium, Luxembourg, where languages have coexisted together for a long time, the language landscape of Estonia experienced a rapid change during a relatively short period in context of languages, and we are during 50 years of Soviet era. It changed from monolingual to multilingual country. So as a result, Estonia is now valuable base for the research and shaping the policy in the European Union after the massive inflow of war migrants. The historical influx of mainly Russian-speaking population led to two de facto official languages in the late 1970s. But this bilingualism was mostly one-sided. While Estonians spoke Russian, Russian speakers were in no hurry to learn Estonian. After Estonia regained independence in 1991, and Estonian becomes the single official state language, one-sided bilingualism started to turn around. If we look on the map, we can see that Estonia, one of the smallest member states of the European Union, and one of the most rapidly growing and transforming. And as a byproduct of the readjustment to the Western markets, English language, as we see today, also become extremely valuable in Estonia. According to the Linguistic Diversity Index, what is the probability that in a given country, any two people selected at random would have different mother tongues? Estonia ranks fourth after Belgium, Luxembourg, and Latvia. So such a country-specific, language-specific contexts allow us to study influence of language skills in 3 different dimensions. First of all, Estonian language, which is one of the smallest official languages in the European Union and is spoken only in Estonia. Then Russian language as the big minority language, and English as the lingua mundi, what influenced by the globalization of the world economy and new all-embracing worldwide communication platforms. So speaking about economics of language research area, it investigates the relationship between language skills and economic returns. And as we see in paper 1961, Marshak was the pioneer, published this paper and in this field, and introduced economic concepts such as value, utility, costs, and benefits into linguistic analysis. And this was followed by huge development in this area. And more recent paper from last year by Ginsberg and Weber see language as the social technology. Language affects cultural identity, effective communication in business and international trade, labor market prospects, and to some extent our economic and social behavior. This literature is highly heterogeneous, but those studies may be broadly divided into 3 categories. First and most numerous, the literature on labor market integration, which find that about 5 to 35% language income premium from knowing language benefit by immigrants. Second, and it is growing strand, literature of labor market effects of globalization that find that English is a significant predictor to higher income, while the effect of other business languages is ambiguous. And last one, and less numerous, literature on economics of language studies in bilingual and multilingual countries find less returns for the large minorities or enclaves. So speaking about population trends, here is a feature of population change in Estonia in 1,000 inhabitants that shows that Estonian population was decreasing throughout the transition period, but the decline slowed down. And after the recovery from the global financial crisis 2008 and 9, the trend has since reversed. And with the country's population increasing over the past 6 years because of positive net migration. And I guess that last year, 2020, we can also see impact of the COVID. So, looking to the linguistic trends, I use data from the Adult Education Survey for year 2016. And here is the language skills in Estonian, Russian, and English. And you can see the breakdown by females and males and by employment status. First side, left side is employment, and right side unemployment status. And we can see that even 25 years of independence had not reversed the bilingualism asymmetry. As Estonians on average had better skills in Russian than Russian speakers had in Estonian. And Estonians also report consistently higher skills in English across both genders and labor market status. Speaking about wage inequalities, the wage inequality may, to a considerable extent, stem from the ethnic occupational segregation. And the most common measure of ethnic occupational segregation is the index of dissimilarity, or Duncan Occupational Segregation Index. This index ranges from 0, reflecting perfect ethnic integration across occupations, to 1, indicating complete ethnic segregation within the workforce. Overall, during the presented period here, according to the Duncan Occupational Segregation Index shows no clear trends, rather mean reversing patterns. And for example, according to this index, for year 2019, 17% of Russian speakers would have to change their occupations to achieve zero segregation or perfect ethnic integration. I would like to introduce paper, speak about, a bit about the results and language landscape in Estonia, written with the co-authors Sven Christian Bormann and Otsim Tomet, and published in International Journal of Manpower. In this paper, we investigate where and how the knowledge of the main language, Estonian, the second most spoken language, Russian, and English as a business language, impact wage and unemployment probabilities of the individuals in Estonia. It does also investigate how the language skills effects on wage and unemployment probability differ or resemble between the Estonian and Russian language subgroups and between gender lines. We controlling also for individual level background and workplace characteristics, and looking the dynamics during the presented period. In our main analysis, I just want to show that we used quite big database, the Estonian labor force survey, and in the main analysis for the years 2000 and 2012. And then looking to the dynamics, we added also the previous years since 1989. And it was driven by the data structure. And for the additional evidence, we used integration monitor survey. We use means earning equation, OLS for wage, and LPM for unemployment. The testing do language skills affect the probability of being unemployment? We get that results for Estonian language skills lower the same degree this probability for both genders. Russian language have no effect on unemployment, while English as a business language have different results for subgroups, showing significant moderate decrease for Estonians, with a slightly less impact for women and no impact for Russian speakers. But the reasons why I highlighted this result for men, we can see that indeed it lowers the probability of being unemployment by about 5%. I will show on next slide. Testing the similar hypothesis that languages impact wages and asking how much, we get that all languages influence by different degree of wage increase for all subgroups, with the exception for the Estonian language for Russian-speaking men. It is our most intriguing result, and we performed additional evidence in the analysis, trying to find out the reasons behind it. And here's interesting slides about the trends, how changed this outcomes for the longer period. Here is the results for unemployment, and we can see that in the beginning, in the transition period, both languages didn't play the role for unemployment probability. But later, for men since 1997, it starts to lower the probability of being unemployment from the fluency in Estonian language. And a bit later, it starts to work for women. But during all presented period, Russian fluency didn't give any premium for the Estonians, according to unemployment. And speaking about unemployment and looking to the English language, we can observe that the feature is quite mixed for the English for the Russian speakers, but it lower a bit unemployment probability for Estonian men and women. So, what about wages? Here is interesting graph how the trends were changed for the women in the transition period. Russian was more important for the income premium than English, and later those trends switched, and for now Estonians benefit less from the Russian fluency, and Russian speakers, at least for women, benefit from the Estonian fluency. But what about men? We should keep in mind that the results for Estonian language for Russian speakers is insignificant, so we have no effect on this language to wage. And also we can see that it was huge income premium in the transition period for the Estonian men from Russian fluency, and later this trend was declining. And English, we can see that has different behavior in the transition, and later both trends were converged for all ethnic subgroups and gender lines. Speaking about segregation and looking to the additional evidence about segregation in Estonian labor market, this table shows that our hypothesis about ethnic segregation confirmed, showing that 16% of women use Estonian at work more than men, what reflect ethnic segregation, and 26% of women need Estonian at work more than men. And I wish to summarize my findings, our findings. The results for men show that the wage regression suggests that English is language which has the strongest impact on wage, but to virtually no effect on unemployment. The effect of Russian language fluency is moderate, but importance of Russian has been declining over time, and no effect on unemployment. And the effect of Estonian language fluency on wage, non-existent. And it is primarily driven by the largest group, workers with a high school degree, while ability to speak the language is related to a substantially lower unemployment rate. Small groups of the highly educated workers in the metropolitan area enjoy, in fact, a substantial Estonian language premium. Men are also more likely occupied in less communication-intense jobs, so present the gender occupational segregation, and prefer to study global business language English instead of small official language. And I want to finish my presentation in more positive tone, that positive outcome from Estonian language fluency for women for the second decade in our analysis suggests that the previously segregated Estonian and Russian economies are slowly becoming a more integrated one where ethnic Russians, at least women with a good Estonian command, get better paid jobs than those who cannot speak the language. And thank you for your attention. And yeah, we will continue with the discussion, I guess.
Okay, thank you. So what's the problem with Russian men?
We should solve this problem.
Yes, but do we know the reason?
We find that they prefer to study English if we speak about higher education, and do not study any language if we speak for less educated people. As before, theory showed that we have big concentration in the northeast, so we should resolve those problems not only by studying language, but somehow economically as well.
You know, I'm not sure if I remember correctly, but in mixed marriages, there is a statistics that Russian women tend to marry Estonian men more than
otherwise.
Otherwise, yes. So maybe we should solve this problem through mixed marriages.
Indeed, I guess it helps.
Yes, because it's also very good language learning method. Yeah.
Yes, of course, and also we should think about workplaces, and we should think about how we could to resolve this northeast problem with economically, that Estonians also come to northern part of Estonia because it is also the part of Estonia, as you invited Estonians come here. So this is also my message, that you Estonians need to come and live here, and then the process of integration will go more quickly.
I always like these suggestions which are like directed towards just people as us. What can we do about something? But it doesn't mean we shouldn't do anything on the policy level. So can you say something about possible future policies? What should we do, or should we do?
Definitely, we should do something. We can see from the results of the research that we should do something. And I think that this research, it is a good base for the politics to decide what do the next. In my research, I didn't solve this problem, but I just measure it, what we can measure, and see the highlights. And we also see that the high school degree Russian men struggle with the problem that they do not maybe get benefits from Estonian language. So it could be resolved by creating the jobs maybe, and to study something else, to think that what they start to study, maybe they get less university degree, because from our analysis we see that those people with a university degree living in the Tallinn receive significant income premium from the Estonian language fluency. And it was indeed, yes, the university degree is helping, and we should think how we can resolve this problem for the less educated people.
Thank you. Thank you for now. We will meet you soon. Thank you again.